Warning: the following video will contain language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised. If you cannot handle four-letter words, then please stop watching now. For everybody else here, hey guys, Dave here. And I have a very interesting video that you're probably not going to see very much of anywhere else except for here. You see, I want to start off by saying I hate Donald Trump. Okay? The man has proven himself to be a buffoon, a manipulator, a flat-out liar, and we're still in the midst of the longest government shutdown ever, thanks to him. So, I do not like him. I do not like his politics. I do not like his bigotry, his misogyny, his prejudice, and I really am bewildered by how his supporters can still support him at all. I know that there are some people that after the effects of his politics have hit them rather hard, they've come to their senses, while others still, for some strange reason, act like they have their heads in the ground like bewildered political ostriches. I don't know why. So, needless to say, I'm on different ends of the spectrum on these guys, and there have been times I've just not wanted to interact with them. But I'm a big believer in trying to use knowledge and understanding. I'm a big believer in trying to use reason to figure things out. And I know that this has been one of the most politically divisive guys to come along in a long time. But surely, Trump supporters and other guys like myself can find some kind of middle ground, something to enjoy. So I decided to reach out with something that's definitely in my wheelhouse. I asked a question to a few people. What is your favorite superhero and why? Simple question, right? I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to answer. But I tell you what, trying to get an answer out of these fucking people is like pulling teeth. It was ridiculous. I mean, at first, at least. I tried to reach out to different various groups. I just tried to put it out there on Twitter, on my YouTube and whatnot, but no answers there. Eventually, I had to get a little creative, and unfortunately, I was banned from a lot of the Trump support groups, so I couldn't get in there. So instead, I asked something in a small circle. I went on Facebook, onto the Villages and Leesburg, Florida word-of-mouth groups. Now, I did get some interesting answers. Some good, some bad, some non-answers. I mean, it was... So, given that the Villages is essentially a giant senior retirement community and one of the largest places of STDs in the state, if not the country, I'm not sure if it's just the fact that these are Trump supporters, because I know that it's primarily Trump and Republican, or just the crotchety old fucks. I don't know. But I asked a question, and I did get some interesting answers. Of course, the first few answers I got were non-answers. These are people that were saying, like, oh, look at it, no one's answering. Or, this is a ridiculous question. Why ask it at all? And, they said, this is a foolish thing. This is for kids. I'm like, I love the people that would put in so much wasted effort to talk about the shit that they won't say, rather than just say the answer to a simple question. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, is this the remnants of a generation that anything that was considered deviation from the norm, was it just, like, beating the hell out of you? I mean, these might be the last people that actually believed the bullshit from school when they were caught reading a comic book. People were told that reading comic books led to illiteracy. How the hell can reading anything lead to illiteracy? That's an oxymoron. That's stupid. But unfortunately, because of authoritarians at a young frickin' age that wasn't following the curriculum, some people actually were beaten into their heads that they believed it. Well, eventually, I started to get through and people started actually answering. This is fun. The answers are quite surprising. Let's see. One of the first ones was Iron Man. And they said it's because it was logic, reason, He used his head to get out of stuff, and he had the best toys. That's cool. I had similar answers for that for Batman. Pretty much cool cars and stuff. Okay, that's cool. And now, there were some that were being just flat out dickish. I mean, at first, nobody said Captain America. And then one guy said, well, I like the artist that did Cap, and if you're like obvious reasons. I'm like, no, dude, they're not obvious. Tell me. So at the time of making this video, it wasn't really obvious. He used to like Brian Bloom. Okay, that'll work. But it's just, like I said, they start straying into non-answers again, which got sad. But then there were others. Of course, they're just going to be flat-out dicks. I knew that this was coming. I knew that there were going to be people who were going to just try to throw answers out there that couldn't quantify into the exact thing for it. Like, let's see. One person said God. And you think that, okay, that'll work out. No. As I said in my video, Jesus and God, I'm not counting in here because, well, for one, they've had several different variations told about them in the comics. In DC Comics, God appeared as a dwarf when he was talking to Supergirl when she was an Earthborn angel. In Marvel Comics, I believe God is considered the one above all. In Wildstorm Comics, God is a tentacled Cthulhu-style monster living in the moon that was dormant and ready to crack it open like an egg and then eat Earth. So, and also, let's see, in the Dawn series, I believe God is Lucifer's lover. So, yeah, there's a lot of variations there. Not to mention God is kind of used as a plot device more than a character. And let's face it, not always seen as a hero. So, unless they're a fictional character running around saving people, they don't qualify for this. And so I even put the little caveat. If you're willing to admit that God's a fictional character, sure, I could maybe throw it in. I did that to somebody, and they're like, oh, no, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play. So, that's fine, dude. But at least I gave you the parameters. They also did the same shit with, let's see. They tried doing the same things with actual people, like soldiers, things like that. And I'm like, that's good. But, unfortunately, although they qualify as heroes, and they can be quite brave, and of course they're doing things in the real world, unless they have some kind of extraordinary abilities, unless they're out there fighting crime on the regular, and they have some kind of superhuman power, or they are the pinnacle of human ability, then I'm sorry, they do not qualify as a superhero. Please pick someone else. I'm not even kidding. At one point, somebody picked Rocky and Bullwinkle, and then they changed their answer to Barney Fife. Barney Fife. I had to do the whole hero but not superhero speech to a guy because he couldn't tell the difference between a superhero and a character on the Andy Griffith Show. Oh, you poor misguided thing. Of course, there were the misguided assholes that had to go a little more political with it. There was a guy that had a picture of Trump in Superman's outfit. Really? No. I flat out said no. He doesn't count. Pick someone else. And I said, no, it's in the video, dude. It's in the video where I had the question. He says, sorry, I didn't see the video. Okay. So, what did he finally answer? Oh, God. There were some people that they just wouldn't answer the damn question. They started, doing like statistics and stuff. I mean, it got fucking ridiculous. And I said, look, did someone beat the ability to have fun out of you? I mean, it's okay. I give you permission to have fun and to daydream about it, because there are people that are answering this question and are enjoying things. And by not saying an actual answer, you're the one that looks weird on it. Some decided to answer. Others took it into dark, scary places. I had one guy say Captain Caveman because he's rough around the edges and gets shit done. MAGA. At which point I had to question the poor schmuck because, okay, Captain Caveman is not reliable. That was the part of the thing. Half the time his powers would give out in the middle of shit. I'm like, okay, you're trapped under a wrecked car. And there's gas leaking. You're worried about it catching fire. You can't get out. Next thing you know, you hear, Captain Caveman! He comes flying over. Next thing you hear, he's like, and he falls down and he can't get to you in time. So you either got to get your own ass out or the teenagers come running over. And, that's the worst part. I'm not calling him on the fact that Captain Caveman is ridiculous. I'm calling him on the fact that Captain Caveman's not a fucking reliable guy, and you're putting your faith in this guy as supposedly your favorite? Come on, dude. You can do better than this. But, let's see. Then there were guys that got really political. There were some that liked Thor because of his strength, his bravery, his ability to stick to things, his sense of honor. And then someone else chimed in the fact that there was a wall around Asgard and he would be violent against those. Like, of course, at this point, I get to do my best Adam Conover impression. Actually, there was no real wall around Asgard itself. It was actually a floating contained island in the space, and it was part of its own dimension. The guard was Balder, who watched the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. And, of course, this was one realm connected out of the 9 realms of Yggdrasil of the World Tree. So, that goes that. And there was somebody else that just threw out there, Black Panther. Did you see that wall around Wakanda? He gets it. No, dude. Actually, it was a holographic force field created by advanced technology through the element of vibranium. Not only that, but in Avengers Infinity War, the only way to best deal with the forces that were coming directly at them was to let them in. I mean, did you even see the same movie that I did? Please. I love they try to turn that shit around on me, but no, this is my house right here. This is mine. So, I mean, there were some good answers. There were bad ones. There are some people that just flat out refused to talk about it. Yeah, but then once I gave permission to say it, they actually did give some good ones, like Wolverine, because he's powerful, loyal to his friends, and gets the job done. I can relate to that. So, your favorite was a Canadian killing machine. All right. I had one guy pop up and say, my favorite superhero is anyone that arrived in this country legally, then posted a frickin' video. But he rigged it to where I couldn't respond to him directly on the Facebook thing, so I had to do it next under it. I'm like, okay, so you're good for anyone here legally. So, no Superman, no Martian Manhunter, no Thor, no Wonder Woman, no Hercules, and countless other beings who just happened to show up here that didn't have a passport. That's disappointing. It really is. But there were also a couple cool ones. One in particular was a lady that liked Loki. She thought he was clever, fun, and that. And we just started talking to like any other comic book fan, man. It was awesome. We talked about how there's a current rumor going on that Loki was actually being manipulated by the Mind Stone and the Scepter the whole time, which makes him more of a sympathetic guy. And we just went off on the different series and stuff. There are other people that said comedian and Rorschach from The Watchmen. There's one woman that said Superman because it reminded her of her dad. I'm like, okay, that's good. But, wow, I mean, is your dad an immigrant who worked on a farm? She says, no, he's Superman. I'm like, that is Superman. Could you please be more specific? And all of a sudden, she reposted the shit that I had said and said, ha ha ha, I knew it. I knew it was a trap. No, these are motherfuckers that are acting like Yu-Gi-Oh players and like, you just activated my trap. It's not a trap. It's a simple fucking question. Oh, it was the suspicion that was crazy. There were people that just flat out would not answer. But then, there was this one guy early on that I had to get specific with because apparently he didn't know what he was talking about. And the one thing you don't want to do around comic book fans is try bringing the stuff that you think is something, but is completely irrelevant or doesn't make any sense. Because we will call you out on that shit. It's not a matter of being political. It's a matter of you not having your information right. So, He says, well, my favorite is Green Lantern, because he'll build that wall. There, I answered your stupid question. I'm like, not so fast. Actually, the Green Lanterns is a core of various people that are chosen by the Guardians of the Universe to wield the powering, the most powerful weapon out there, which is a construct that takes your power of will as well as imagination and creates it into a solid construct. Now, there's been several different ones. So, which Green Lantern are we talking about? Are we talking about Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, Simon Baz, a Muslim American, by the way? That was interesting. And he's like, no, what? Now, of course, I also go into it with the fact that, oh, by the way, since it's chosen by the Guardians of the Universe, none of the constructs are permanent. I mean, like, do I have to actually explain how this works to you? And he's like, no, he's not the guy who was chosen by anybody. He's the guy that had Kato for a sidekick. Kato? Wait. That's not the Green Lantern. That's the Green Hornet, which was done by Sergeant Guy Williams, and his sidekick was portrayed in the show by Bruce Lee. So I'm like, he says, yeah, that one. I'm like, no, not that one. Which one? Are you talking about Green Lantern or Green Hornet? You're not being specific. Oh, Green Hornet, the one with Kato. Like, okay, well, for one thing, he wouldn't be able to build a wall like that. Another, he was a vigilante, that he was a superhero that pretended to be a supervillain, so he was on the wrong side of the law. And there was no way he's going to be building a freaking wall, so that his choice doesn't make sense. There's no logic there. He just threw shit out. So, like I said, there were some that were just being complete assholes. There are some that eventually warmed up, and I had some very pleasant conversations with them. The one talking about Loki and things like back and forth, for a few moments, I was having a very sane, very fun conversation with somebody that was just another fan like me. And that was great. I mean, in fact, that person even thanked me for creating a topic that was fun and had middle ground about people that had opposing viewpoints in politics. So, that was pleasant. That was the gold nugget in all this other stuff. But throughout it all, the sandwiching of people that were so resistant that they were vocal about why they wouldn't tell me the answer of who their favorite superhero is was just disturbing, because I wanted to see if Trump's fans and supporters were capable of actual thought. I wanted to see if they were capable of imagination, of dreaming. Superheroes are representations of not just super abilities, but they represent a world of possibilities, of the greater good, and we relate to so many of them on a personal level. We find a favorite as something that we can project onto ourselves, a part of us. They see an idealized version of ourselves, something that we can aspire to, that we can try to be. And it helps to, by dreaming up a better world, we strive to become better. But there were some people that were just flat out so resistant to it, that superheroes are just for kids, that it's stupid, foolish, and they're so vocal that they're not going to participate. See, that frightens me. If you lose the capacity to dream, does it mean that the reason you weren't participating was because Fox News and Trump didn't tell you what to think? Was it somehow beaten out of you, the ability to dream, have fun, and just to imagine things again? Now that is a true crisis. Anyway, I did this on a small set, and I'm still getting a few answers coming in, but at the time of this video, there's been quite a few surprising answers that came in. Some good, some bad, some non-answers. But, see, eventually, Trump is going to be out of office. His cronies are going to be gone. And eventually we're going to have to find something to talk about again that'll be some kind of common ground. Something we can have fun with. And I've discovered that superheroes are just as good a topic as any. So, what did you guys think of this? If you know of any good forums to try asking this question, please let me know. I can try going in there and making another video like this. Or if you think it's something good that you want to try, then please ask people. Ask, known Republican groups or pro-Trump groups. Ask these people at pro-Trump rallies who their favorite superhero is. And watch the reaction. Because what they don't tell you or what they refuse to tell you could be just as telling as their actual answer. So what do you guys think? Please let me know. Peace.